The Tonight Show will not be seen this evening in order that we may bring you the following special program.
From the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., it's the Watergate Comedy Hour, brought to you by CREEP, the Committee to Re-elect the President, with your host, Richard Nixon. Dick's special guests tonight are John and Martha Mitchell, James J. McCord, L. Patrick Gray, John Dean, the music of H.R. Haldeman and the Buckpassers, and the singing of the Watergate Seven. And me, I'm Doc Kissinger. And now, here's Dickie!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say, I think we have a great show tonight. My special guest is Theodore White, and he'll be here to talk about his latest book, The Screwing of the President. But before we get into tonight's show, let's talk about some of my past programs. For instance, when I took over as host, there were 500,000 troops in Vietnam. Now they're out of Vietnam and in Cambodia. And on the meat front, we're making progress. I've just been informed that kidney and liver are holding steady. I only wish mine were. Whoa! Ha ha ha! I laughed. I don't explain them. I just read them. How we doing, Doc?
Mynheer, I think the monologue is going into the toilet. Don't you think you should make your statement regarding you-know-what, then take questions from the audience and save the tumult for later?
Right on, Doc. Right on. My fellow Americans, I wish to speak to you tonight from the bottom of my deeply troubled heart, and not from any ghost-written prepared script. Could you raise the cue cards a little bit? Thank you. My friends, a grave shadow of doubt has been cast over the office of the presidency. A few rotten apples are trying to spoil the entire barrel. And some people are saying, it's my turn in the barrel. Well, I'm not an apple. Hold the rim shots. Now, let me say this. If we're going to be bobbing for anything, we're going bobbing for the truth. The truth as I see it. Now, I have nothing to hide. I believe in a free exchange of ideas. I believe in a free press. I believe in music. I believe in love. Hold it! Hold it! Let me say, if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them at this time.
Mr. President?
Yes.
What is your personal involvement with the Watergate?
Well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much. Good night, and God bless you.
Please, Mr. President, you can't avoid these questions any longer. Now, what do you personally know about the Watergate?
I'm very glad that you asked that question. Let me say that I believe a grave injustice has been done here. A loss of integrity, a loss of reputation, have humiliated what might have been a fine high-rise apartment building.
No, sir. What I'm talking about is the break-in and bugging of the Democratic National Headquarters on 17 June 1972, the arrests and convictions of the Watergate Seven, and the subsequent disclosures that members of your staff had knowledge of this illegal act, and afterwards try to whitewash any investigation and lie to protect themselves and other high members of your administration.
Could you be more specific? Doc, it looks like I'm up against it. What do we do?
Well, Mynheer, it's quite obvious. We need a fall guy.
But I've used up so many already.
You need someone in the public eye, someone close to you, and yet someone they would never suspect.
Yes, but who?
Your wife, Pat.
My wife, Pat? Why, you can't be serious. You don't think for a moment that I would ever entertain the thought of sacrificing someone near and dear to me for the sake of political expediency. No, there must be someone else left.
Only you.
It can now be revealed that my wife, Pat, conceived and led the Watergate affair. I am shocked and truly saddened. And let me add that I, of course, had no knowledge of it. Because, as you all know, Pat and I have never spoken. Well, that's it for tonight. And let me say, keep those telegrams coming. Because after all, I paid for them.
That's our show for tonight. Next, stay tuned for Raymond Burr and Sermonette.